forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace in the storm. In the storm. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace.
Good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. It is Thursday, and here at the office, getting a few things done. I hope you all had a blessed Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're going to continue to trudge on with our devotional book, the Advent devotional book. And now we start to look at, after Christmas here, some of the prophecies being fulfilled. And so it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to not only see them in the Old Testament side, but then go, oh, there they are on the New Testament side. So great to have all of you on board. Just so blessed by all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who is on board, and then we'll get to the devotion. Besides me, I see Dr. Colleen. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? There she is. Good morning. Good morning. I'm out there on X. Nikki Chason, good morning. My sister Trish, good morning. Ken Gooch, good morning. Diane Giroux, good morning. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Connie Sandbrink, firmly rooted Greendale. Jody Glenn, love you. Continued prayers for you. Chuck B, good morning, family from Indiana. I hope your time at Greendale was blessed. My cousin Dave Donnelly, good morning. Alice, good morning. Praise to him is here. Great to have you, as well as a number of others are on board. All right, let me do this, and then let me pull up that. There we go. We're coming from Matthew chapter 2, verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. The Greek word is kind of funny because it kind of like rolls on itself. Exceedingly great joy. It's unmeasurable. And who's the they? The they are the wise men. You remember they've been following a star for nearly 2 years because they felt something happened. That God was doing something. Maybe a king was born, and they went to acknowledge that king's birth. And as you know, they got to Jerusalem, and because of the spiritual darkness within the city, they couldn't see the star. They went to Herod. Herod, who was the king of that day, had no clue what was going on with this child. And so he conspires, as you know, to get the wise men to go find Jesus, come back, tell him where he is so he can go kill him. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about, can you imagine traveling for a year and a half, let's say, into foreign lands because you wanted to see who possibly was born, that creation itself put some type of a star that stood over Bethlehem. Like, how does that happen? Who does? Only God can do that, right? And imagine following that star every single day, getting up, following that star, following that star, following that star. You get to Jerusalem, the city that is where the temple is. It's the main city of the whole country. And you can't see the star anymore. Can you imagine the disappointment? Well, let's read the devotion. Let's see where it takes us. This verse is describing the reaction of the wise men as they left Jerusalem once again, saw the star they had been following for 2 years, but had lost sight of when they entered into Jerusalem. How disappointed they must have been when they entered the capital city and lost sight of the star that they had been following for so long. They felt led by God to come and honor the very special king born in Israel. But now, what were they going to do? Can you relate to their disappointment? Have you ever thought you understood the plan only to find out it turned out upside down? Then, like the wise men, you can understand that sick in the stomach, confused feeling. I have been there several times in my life. But what do we learn from this story? God is, all caps, always faithful. The wise men's disappointment turned into exceeding great joy. When these guys saw the star again, their excitement returned and intensified. They got the opportunity to join in the heavenly joy proclaimed by the angels at Jesus' birth. How about that? I bring you good news of great joy. You can understand their excitement. You experienced it during the last 2 days as you celebrated Christmas. It doesn't matter how old you are, the joy of Christmas is contagious. We have reason to have exceedingly great joy because God has been faithful to us and will continue to be throughout our lifetime. We're going to work hard and not let the world and Satan and our own sinful nature rob us of the joy that Jesus came to bring. We will strive daily to respond like the shepherds did that very first Christmas as they returned glorifying and praising God for all that they had seen and heard. May this exceeding great joy be yours today and every day. Peace. Pastor Tom. Good morning, Karen Thompson. Diane, always. Amen. All caps. Brothers and sisters in Christ, we sometimes say that the Christmas spirit, the generosity that takes place, people seem to be more forgiving, more gracious, and people call it a facade because we still live in a broken, sinful world. And I argue, as I think I get older and maybe a little wiser, Christmas can't help but being this white explosion in a dark place. Hence, we feel lighter. We feel positive. We feel better. Like something's righted with the world, even though the world's wrong. Something more significant. But most importantly today, just because Christmas came and Christmas has gone, doesn't mean that we may not be facing some of the disappointment that the wise men had. You thought that it was going to be one way, and right now it seems to be another. You could never imagine that it would be the way that it is. Like, why would God do this? Why would God cause us to travel for a year and a half and then we lose the star? What's the purpose in that? What's the meaning in that? Why tell me, Abraham, at age 75, that I'm going to have a son? And for 25 years, not to see that promise answered. But God was faithful. At 100 years old, he gave birth to a son and named him Isaac. Laughter. I think one of the things that we have to realize, that as human beings, we are fragile. We live in these two kingdoms. We have these two natures inside of us, and it's hard. It's hard. And then we have these expectations. We have these senses in which we think something's going to be this way, but then it's not that way, and everything gets confusing. Satan would whisper in our ear, see, God's lying, he's not telling you the truth, God's lying. And then we're apt to go take care of it ourselves or do something ourselves or force something to happen ourselves. And we know what happens when individuals in the scriptures did things like that. It's hard to wait. But Isaiah says, yet those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not be tired. They will walk and not become weary. Waiting. See, waiting is hard, but ideologically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, waiting says something's still coming. See, waiting doesn't draw a conclusion. God's not going to be faithful. He's not going to do this. This is all going to be bad. Nothing's going to work. It's always going to be this way. Stop. Stop. We got to stop. And I am not diminishing the hard times that many of us are going through here at Firmly Rooted? We are. In relationships, business, work, family, health. But rather than draw conclusions, what if in 2025 we learn waiting? And in that waiting, it's a waiting for God to be God, and for God to be faithful, and for God to love as He promised to love, and to touch and heal as He promised to heal and touch. What if we actually define the process as waiting rather than trying to conclude? Wise men left the city, and lo, the star. They could see it again. Exceedingly great joy bubbled up inside of them because God was faithful. Now, I get it. That may have been just a 24-hour period of time. And many of us have lived much more than 24 hours in the tough times that we've been going through. I still would argue that waiting's better than concluding, because we don't see well enough to conclude. We don't know enough to conclude. But we know that we have a good Father. And so every day we wake up and we wait. Prayerfully, powerfully wait for the God of the universe to move heaven and earth, to address and deal with whatever situation you and I may be struggling with. Because He loves us. Because He knows the desires of our hearts. Because He's for us and not against us. That He can do anything. Is anything too difficult for God? Lo, I will be with you always, even to the end of the age. So let's go into 2025 with an idea of waiting. And add to that waiting anticipation. We're not just waiting neutral. We're waiting for a faithful Father to finally do what He does. And we will have exceedingly great joy in the process. I hope that was a blessing to you. We've got a few more. We're going to go all the way to New Year's Eve. But it's great to see these Messianic prophecies getting fulfilled, right? All right, let's leave it at that. Let's see, anybody else join in? Well, other people did join in, but let's see, anybody say anything? Diane Drew, we need to have joy in the waiting and let God do His thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I could say it any better. That's exactly it. And to know that we got a God like a God we have, we can secretly, in that anticipation, we can be like peaceful, joyful. Why? Because I know He's going to do something. Why? Because He's faithful, right? This repeated process pushes Satan away from our ears and our eyes, and all of a sudden we speak truth over ourselves and life over ourselves. Praise to Him says, needed that today. Thank you. Well, love you all so very much. And hope you had some downtime over the last couple of days, maybe even today, recovering from all of the Christmas stuff. But let's trudge on. Even tomorrow, as we once again will meet at 8:30 and look at the devotion for December 27th. All right, I think that's it. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.